Thank you, Emoji J, always with the uninterrupted exit. So what we have going on today, we have an amazing, incredible episode today. We have a bachelorette, a beautiful bachelorette. Hold on, let me get my mic hooked up. You guys can't hear me. There we go. All right, so we got an incredible bachelorette. She was a little hesitant initially, but then I felt like she thought she owed me one. So we have a beautiful bachelorette on today's episode. We have three contestants that are going to be competing to win a virtual date with said bachelorette. And so if we could get our bachelorette to request a box, and we can get to know her a little bit. All right, but I got to shout out to top gifters from the last episode. So at the last episode, we had at the number one spot we had Lolita. At the number two spot we had Baby Cakes, always somebody loyal to the stream. At the number three spot, she was a contestant on one of our past episodes. Coming in at the number three spot, we had Beauty. At the number four spot, we had Beauty, and at the number five spot, we had Lady G. So big round of applause to Lady G. Thank you for all my gifters. And that means that the top gifter from the last episode is always going to be featured on the official Rate the Date name tag. So big shout out to Lolita. I hope I spelled this correct and make all my Latino brothers and sisters happy. LOL. But that's not the only time you can make the official Rate the Date name tag. All you got to do, check my hello. Can you hear me? Hello. No. Okay. All right. Unmic today. Hey now. All right. So did y'all hear anything I said while the mic was going on? Better. Okay. No. All right. So a big shout out to all our top gifters. At the number one spot, we had Lolita. At the number two spot, we had Baby Cakes. At the number three spot, we had Beauty. At the number four spot, we had Jeremy. And at the number five spot, we had Lady G. Lolita made the official Rate the Date name tag, but that's not the only time you can make it on the official Rate the Date name tag. All you got to do is be the top gifter from this episode, and you'll be featured on our next episode. We got a couple more episodes to go. We'll be talking about how things go at the end of the episode. We had a bachelor who picked a guy named Ghosty on our last episode, so we'll be hearing from them at the end of this one. So without further ado, let's bring our bachelorette in here.
Dorian.
How you doing, sweetheart?
I'm doing well, thank you. How are you?
I am doing fantastic. So you were a little bit optimistic with doing the show today, but we finally got you on here, and the lady in red, you're looking good. Techie, tell us a little bit about you, some things that we wouldn't know just based on looking at you. I know you don't work too far from home. Tell us a little bit about what you do for a living.
I am an entrepreneur. I'm trying to win now. Ooh. I'm an entrepreneur, but I don't like to talk too much about the details of that on this application, understandably, sir.
Okay, well, fair enough. We like independent women on this side. It seems to be a staple for actually this season. And give me another random fact about you that we wouldn't know. Maybe an activity that you do for health reasons, or just something that you've always loved.
Okay, something appropriate for a featured show. I like dance.
Dance? What type of dance are we talking here?
I like hip hop dance.
Hip hop dance? Okay, well, hopefully the boys can show you the moves today on today's episode. I hate my life. All right, gentlemen, if you can request the box. How it's going to work is we're going to have a couple of contestants that are going to join the box, and these guys are going to be competing for a virtual date with you. The person that you pick after eliminating two people will hit it off with you off of the app, whether you guys are better off as friends or something more on the Book of Face, the Snap of all chats, the Gram of all instas, whatever the kids call it these days. and then you tune back in next episode and give us an update. Okay, let's get to know the guys. We've got a couple of them requesting the box. Yeah.
Ooh. Hi, guys.
How you doing today?
Well,
Hello.
Hello, hello. Can I just pick them all or what?
This unfortunately is not the thruple episode, but I got some random facts about the guys. Let me know if these things are true. Starting off with Maverick. Maverick, it says, I am a very dedicated worker. What type of what are you working in now, or where did this discipline come from?
So during the summer, I'm usually a diamond driller or a miner for anyone that doesn't know. And then during the winter, for the last 16 years, I've owned part of a commercial ice fishing business.
Wow, that is incredible. Definitely the drive. There's a lot of drive in the stream today. I feel like you and the Bachelorette will be able to connect on that. And also, I got a random fact about you, Sin. Sin, how are we doing there?
Good. Thanks for having me.
Of course, of course. It says here, I spent 6 years in Germany. Is that correct?
Yep, that is correct.
How did you end up in Germany, and how was your time there?
Well, I was a kid at that time. I was a military brat. My dad was in the military, so we got stationed over there for 6 months. And yeah, it really opened up my world to different cultures, different people. So something that I highly recommend. For not necessarily have to be a military brat, but to go and explore the world, explore other cultures, other people, all that stuff. I think it's definitely good for the soul.
I 100% agree on that. I think that's even what I experienced when the pandemic happened. Sprechen Sie Deutsch?
Not anymore. That was
All
many
right.
years ago. Yeah. So.
Moving it right along, Mr. Fix. Fix, I don't have any random facts about you, but just hit me with them. Give me 2 random facts about you that I wouldn't know just based on looking at you. I don't know if they know how tall you are. I've seen a couple of your pictures, and you kind of tower over everybody. What's your exact height?
6'7".
6'7". The guy's up there. Did you, with that height, were you able to utilize it in life? Any professional sports or any basketball years on football?
I never played professional, but I did play basketball when I was in high school, and I'm just the guy that reaches for stuff and hits his head.
Well, fair enough. Also, give me another thing that you like to do for fun. Maybe an athletic sport that you do, or just something that you're passionate about.
I'm passionate about more or less streaming right now. I can't really do anything. I'm kind of injured, so I'm just trying to make myself more confident.
Well, I hope you have a speedy recovery. And yeah, I could also tell that I went to his profile, and it's all stream heavy, things that he's done on the stream. And speaking of streams, make sure to favorite our Bachelorette and all of our contestants on today's episode. And all right, let's get into the show. So we have these 3 contestants. We're going to have a couple of questions. Techie, do you have those questions ready on hand? If not, I got some questions for you, so don't worry about it.
I've always got questions locked and loaded.
Oh, all right. Well,
Shell didn't even make it 20 minutes in. Bye.
okay. Well, we'll go back and forth with those things that you want to dig and pry at, maybe relationship deal breakers, or see some connections on today's episode. How we're going to have it is we're going to have Maverick be contestant number 1, and we're going to have Sin be contestant number 2, and we're going to have Mr. Fix-It be contestant number 3. So starting off with contestant number 1, what question would you like to ask him, Techie?
What, Mr. Maverick, what kind of first date are you going to take me on, sir?
To be honest, first I'd have to figure out if you're more of someone that enjoys nature or a city girl. But I don't know. My idea would be maybe go to one of the beaches near me. They got a few waterfalls. Uh, Light up a fire, roast some food or something. See how it goes from there.
Ooh, take her to a beach near me, light up a fire, and roast some food. That sounds like an extravagant first date, if I've ever heard one myself. A good way to answer the question. What about you, Sin? If you had the opportunity to take the lovely bachelorette on a date, paint us a picture of it. Take us there.
I'd probably start off, go for a nice stroll down, to the down at the local park. Just use that time to get to know each other a little bit better, to be able to talk to one another, without any other really much distractions. And then from there, after that, probably go to a nice, quiet little restaurant setting, to end the night with some good eating. I am a foodie, so to go get some good eating done, and continue on with the conversation and get to, like I said, get to know each other a little bit more better.
Okay, so then you try to cover all the areas of ground there, taking her from one place to another from start to finish. I think he hopes for that to be a very intricate and long first date. So take note of that, Bachelorette. All right, moving over to Mr. Fix-It. You heard the guys tell her where they would want to wine and dine her or take her to experience a first date. Where are you going to take the young lady?
First dates are getting to know each other, so I would say we go to a park, have a picnic, get some wine, sit there and talk, learn more about each other, and see if we want to go on a second date.
Okay, so keeping it a little bit more simple, but where would the place be again? Where's the setting you said you would take her?
To the park, lay a blanket down, have a picnic.
Okay, picnic at the park. Going to the double P's to go to that we hear about. All right, Techie, let me ask these gentlemen each a different question apiece. So starting off with contestant number one, Maverick. Maverick, my question to you would be, what is something that means the most to you in a relationship?
Definitely probably be trust and loyalty. I don't know, they both kind of fall into the same category, I guess, to me, but yeah, as soon as I lose trust in someone, it's over from that point.
Well, fair enough. I think most people logically would operate that same way. I think the number one answer for what you look for, what's the number one red flag in a relationship is a liar, which falls into that kind of trust fear category. All right, moving over to Sin. Sin, my question for you would be, what is something that you struggled with in your younger years?
Um, my early years, something that I struggle with is probably self-image, the confidence and that kind of stuff growing up. Um, just because being in school is kind of I kind of fell into the kind of like the geek and the nerd kind of it back then when I was in school it wasn't cool to be a nerd, and now apparently it's not it's not as frowned upon, but back when I was in school it was definitely not not the cool thing to be. So that kind of messed with my psyche a little bit and self confidence, but I've learned from then to now to kind of go into myself and
Hey, and you made it on today's show, and you're suited and booted up. You made sure to look presentable. So you trying to show me up. All right, Sin, thank you. It's awesome getting to know you. And Mr. Fix It Up, my question for you would be, what is your biggest weakness?
My daughter is my biggest weakness. Anyone hurts her, hurts me, so.
Well, fair enough. Yeah, definitely your offspring is probably going to, especially as a girl dad, it's definitely going to pull the strings of your heart. So what is one way that you've changed since shifting into fatherhood?
My whole life changed. I used to be the big player, go out and have fun every day. And then she was born when I was 23, and then everything changed. I stay home. I cook meals. I do laundry. I'm a housewife or house dad.
Well, definitely. Hey, man, your first child, and especially as having a little girl for the first time, you definitely seem like you discovered the feminine part of yourself, that nurturer that you had all along. All right, moving it back over to Maverick. My question to you is, Maverick, and then after these questions, we're gonna pass it back over to Techie. So my question for you, Maverick, is if you could go back and give your younger self some advice, what would you tell yourself?
I don't know. I guess I'd stop myself from investing in certain businesses that failed over the years,
Wow.
opposed to putting more into other ones that have succeeded.
Okay. Sounds like a cool Back to the Future movie. So wealth is definitely that ability is really important to you. That makes perfect sense. Sin, my question for you would be, what are some physical attributes that might attract you to a woman?
Um, Physical attributes, for sure. The eyes smile. I think for me is definitely um, big. I also say legs. I think I'm definitely a sucker for a nice pair of legs. I think that's pretty sexy in a woman. So yeah, I have to go with those.
Yeah, I like how he kept it very political with the first couple answers. And he was like, you know what? I like checking out the legs also when she walks by. All right, moving it over to Mr. Fix It. Mr. Fix It, I asked him his physical things that attract him to a woman. What are some mental things that attract you to a partner?
Smarts. Just being able to carry on a conversation. You have to have a sense of humor if you're gonna date me or be around me. I have to be able to joke around. I I make I love making people laugh. So if you are able to laugh, then you got me. You have to be able to carry on that conversation. I love history. I love anything that has to do with uh, movies, or you just have to be smart about things. So
Yeah, that made perfect sense, especially coming from a fellow streamer. Definitely having a laugh and not taking things seriously is something that I think most of us specialize in at some sense of another. Okay, bringing it back over to Techie. And before she asks her questions, let me tell you what you guys are tuning into. This is Rate the Date, the #1 dating show on the app. We got the beautiful Techie as our bachelorette today. We have these 3 contestants. We're at the bottom half of the first round. After this round, unfortunately, somebody's going to get eliminated, but that doesn't matter because even the eliminated contestants go into a group chat and we try to hook everybody up. If they don't call me the love doctor for no reason, we've turned virtual dating into reality. I have the badges to prove it. And then also we go into round number 2. We're going to double up the questions and we go into the streamosphere, off of the stream. Her and that person that she picks gets to know each other off of the stream, on the Book of Face, the Snap of all chats, the Gram of all insights. I think everybody has all those on today's episode. And then they tune back in next week and they give us a bit of an update. All right, back into the show, Techie. You had a question for Maverick. What do you want to ask him?
Maverick, what is the top 3 things that you're looking for in your partner?
Top 3
They
things
they definitely have to be outgoing, because opposed from the last 2 months I've spent streaming, I'm not a homebody, I guess. Like I do like to be home every once in a while, but for the most part I do like to be out. I guess preferably nature too, because I love to be camping, swimming. My daughter loves that. Same with my son. And I guess third, it'd have to be fine with my children, I guess. I'm not really sure.
Well, it's a good way. Definitely, I like how we didn't need to know. Not that we didn't need to know, but we didn't ask them about fatherhood. But the fatherhood, because the importance, like it should be in their lives, especially with new fathers, that it kind of oozes out of them that responsibility. So it's like asking them questions, but then things that are the most important kind of naturally come out in their life. All right, what about for Sin? What would you like to ask him?
What is Sin? Hi.
Hello.
What is your personal biggest red flag that I should know about?
Oh, about me?
Yes, about you.
My biggest red flag, I guess, would be um, I know I joke about this a lot, but I guess it would have to be there's a little bit of like self-sabotage, I guess, in my what's it called, in my demeanor, I guess. I've sometimes, not always, but sometimes I know in the past I've, sometimes when things seem like they're going too well, it freaks me out a little bit because I feel
Mm.
like, like things are going too well, like this is something's got to be going, something's got to be off or whatever because things never go this well or great for me, but definitely something I'm,
So a little bit of like a self-sabotager, right? Like when things seem too good to be true, you kind of self-attack and why do I get this? Well, I mean, you look nice today and you have a good demeanor and you got the beard thing going on. So I would definitely find ways to naturally look at me trying to be the rate the date therapist over here. But yeah, find ways to be able to appreciate yourself. And speaking of appreciation, how about I jump in real quick for a question for Mr. Fix? Mr. Fix, what are some ways that you're able to appreciate?
You propose right in the middle of that.
All right, Mr. Fix It. I'd said, what are some, speaking of Fix It, what are some ways you've been able over the years to be able to appreciate yourself?
I appreciate self appreciation. I'm not even sure. Just the way I've been with my last couple of jobs, I been the hard worker. I've been the person that picks up all the overtime, the one that does the most work. I appreciate that. I'm kind-hearted and I don't like talking about myself that much, so I'm sorry.
Well, fair enough. Yeah. So it's okay. You like I have comedian friends and they don't like talking about themselves either if it's not self-deprecating. But that makes perfect sense. So like going back to your masculinity, just kind of integrating yourself into your routine is able to show your levels of appreciation. All right, Techie, I think we have time for one more question for each of the guys. Starting off with contestant number one. What is going to be the final question for him? So make it count.
Okay, contestant number one, Mr. Maverick. Last question, making it count. Dun 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 dun.
I like how she has the Dorian swagger for this. She's definitely throwing her inner host in the mix.
Yeah, I even wore red to compete with you, Dorian. Bum 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 bum. What is the most important relationship?
How about this? Speaking of,
wait, I was literally in the middle of my question.
All right. What was it? What was the question?
What is the most important? Other than okay, what is the most important relationship that you have in your life?
What are some of the values of that?
I was really only in basically 2 relationships, so since the beginning of high school. I was with someone for 10 years and then the next person for 6 years. And that's where I got my 2 kids from. And up until 3 years ago, that's when I finally broke up with them. So, yeah.
Interesting. Well, thank you for sharing
But
that.
I guess
You,
they're both kind of important to me just because I got my children out of it. I wouldn't really say one's better than the other.
No, I meant like currently in your life right now, which relationship do you value the most? Like a child, a parent, a friend? Who is the most
Probably my
endearing?
child the most, definitely.
Thank you.
everybody's a great parent. All right, moving over to this. We already know about his weaknesses and things that he's struggled with. How about maybe we ask him a question that's a little bit, it shows us the positives about him. Or let me just ask him, if you don't mind, me intercepting this question. Sin, what is something, what is, Sin, what is something you like the most about yourself?
Something I like about myself is part of my humor, along with not taking myself or trying not to take myself too seriously either. I think that's something that I did in the past or previously. Take myself way too seriously. Now I try to be more, take a more humorous take on life. It's I like to say, like a lot of this stuff, this is all temporary, and sticking too much to one thing or like really like hyper focusing on one thing. It's something that it's never done me well in the past. Now I just try to keep more of an open mind, be more open-minded about a lot of stuff as well. So yeah, I think that's and I think the humor kind of coincides with that, as far as making things much more easier to navigate through.
Yeah, I appreciate your thorough. I appreciate your thorough responses, and I think it's very important to highlight the humor, especially with sometimes traumatic experiences that we go through in a relationship or things that we've driven through. It's figuratively speaking. Okay, moving over to Mr. Fix-It for his last question of the second round. It's going to be the final question of the second round. What question do you have lined up for him?
I guess similar to Sin, I'm really curious to hear, what would you identify as your top 3 best traits that you bring to a relationship?
I'm caring. I listen to everything that you would say to learn what I need to fix about myself. And I'm nurturing. As you can already tell, I take care of my daughter, or I took care of my daughter for 18 years. So.
Well, fair enough. Awesome. I think we kind of heard about that in one of your previous questions, but I'm happy to I think having a kid was probably the number one thing in your life. So thanks be to God for that, and all the people here who are parents. All right, Techie, unfortunately, that is the last question of the first round, but you guys did great. Give yourself a round of applause. Definitely, it's hard to put yourself in front of the camera in this kind of vulnerable way on a featured show. And speaking of the featured show, this is Rate the Date, the #1 dating show on the app. I'm your lovely host, Dorian, and we have today's beautiful bachelor, Techie. We had a first round of questions, and now we're moving into who is going to be eliminated. But rather than starting off with the eliminated contestant first, how about we pick the person that we want first moving into round number 2? So without further ado, Techie, who is going to be the first contestant moving into round number 2? And give us a little bit of a reason why. Can I get a drum roll, please, in the chat?
This is really, really, really hard because all three of the contestants are really amazing and I resonated with everybody's answers and I don't want to let any of them go. So this is just going to be really, really, really hard. Um, so I guess the first one to stay is going to be Maverick.
Maverick, congratulations! You moved into round number 2. So just get comfortable on your chair. All right, here's where things heat up a little bit. Now we got a final person to pick, eliminating, unfortunately, the other contestant. But like I said, we turn virtual dating into reality over here. If they don't call me Dory, anybody can get a date for no reason. So, who is going to be the second person moving into round number 2? Can I get a drum roll again in the chat?
Hard. I'm like sweating, you guys. I can't do this. This is too hard. I just Lux, Baby Cakes, Dorian Gray.
Uh-oh.
The next contestant to be moving on is going to be Mr. Fix-It. Mr. Fix-It.
Congratulations,
I'm
Mr.
so
Fix-It.
sorry, Sin. I'm so sorry.
It's all
This
good.
is so hard.
No apologies.
This
needed.
is
What
so
was it about
hard.
What was it about Mr. Fix-It that caught your attention?
Well, we're both wearing red. He's super tall, so he can change a light bulb for me, as pointed out previously by the comments. Yeah.
Oh, fair enough. All right, Sin, unfortunately, that ends your run on Rate the Date, but we would love to bring you back and have you over again.
Sounds good, man. I appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
All right.
It was fun.
Thank you so much, Sin. And make sure to favorite all of my contestants on today's episode, Maverick, Mr. Fix-It, and Sin. Don't forget about our Bachelorette. All them stream. I've been to their streams. They do a good job. Okay, moving into round number 2. Before we get back into putting y'all under the microscope, how about we ask some questions for the Bachelorette? So starting off with Mr. Fix-It, what question would you like to ask our Bachelorette? Maybe something you would want to get to know a little bit more about her. What's her fascination with the color red? What I don't know if you were tuning in to the beginning of the episode, but she likes to dance. Where does she like to dance? Just giving you a couple of ideas. And then Maverick, while he thinks about that question, how about you think about the next question you're going to ask her? All right, Mr. Fix-It, what's the question?
So he took those 2 questions away. So when you're getting ready to get into a relationship, what is the one thing that you look for in a guy? What's like the main thing that you look for in him?
I think starting out, I think it's really important to get a sense of like their honesty and like open communication. So are they transparent? Are they hiding a lot of things? Are they hiding their phone all the time? Are they secretive? These types of things, I think, is like really important to me. Probably.
That's interesting. A man puts his phone face down. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
It depends. It depends. It depends. It doesn't have to be a bad thing, but if the phone dings and they're like constantly hiding it, or they're going to the bathroom to take calls, or things like that, I think is a little bit sus. Snapchat is sus.
Yeah, somebody told me that because on dates I put my phone down. Yeah. Make sure to turn off the notifications. Just period, everybody. All right. What about you, Maverick? What would you like to get to know about our bachelorette?
So it kind of goes along with my first answer, I guess, was I'm real curious to know if you're more of like a outdoorsy in the country type girl or in the city.
That's a good question. I am.
Oh yeah, love it.
Pardon?
No, it's a good question.
Outdoorsy in the city. I definitely like to get out of the city. I live in the city, born and raised, but there's nothing like a good, like, I love getting out of town, going camping, getting into nature. So I'm always down for nature.
Oh, well, it sounds like you guys have that in common. And I'm glad for Maverick to be able to find that out about you, because that seems like it's a big thing for him. Okay, getting back into round number 2, I got some questions for you, gentlemen. Starting off with Mr. Fix-It as contestant number 1. My question for you would be, what is something your ex-girlfriend would say is a negative quality about you? And while you think about that, let me plug the show, because I have to every 10 minutes. We have Rate the Date, the #1 dating show on the app. We got Techie as our bachelorette. We got these gentlemen. We started off with 3. Now we're down to 2. We got a couple more questions to go through before she makes her pick. Her and that pick will get to know each other off of the stream, and then they will tune back in next Friday, closer to 12 p.m. Eastern time. Back to the show. Mr. Fix-It, what is a quality that your ex would say is something that she didn't necessarily appreciate?
That I care about my family more than I care about anything else. I've had 4 relationships, and 3 of them have said that they didn't like that I was there for like my mom and my grandma and my daughter, of course, but
Oh, okay, definitely. So laying out your priorities is well, at least we all know that what we're getting ourselves into with that type of behavior. If I have the slogan, show me the Carfax. So if you kind of structure your immediate family more than your future family, I'm sure it has its pros and cons. All right, what about Maverick? My question for you would be, what is something you prioritize in your relationships more, career or relationships? What's a bigger priority for you?
Probably my career, because being on the diamond drill, you tend to spend anywhere from the starting 21 days, and it could go on for months and months. Because you mostly just live out there unless the drill site's nearby, which it's not really. Like, I've had maybe 2 jobs that my drill site was nearby, so I could drive home. But for the most part, yeah, like when I go back to work in November, I plan to be gone until around April or something like that. So that's me gone without a phone or anything like that.
Oh, well, that's actually good to know when somebody's getting to know you, as far as maybe their physical quality is quality time. So during those that absence, when you're kind of gone, you kind of have to fill that void somehow. All right, moving back over to contestant number 1, Mr. Fix It Up. My question for you would be, what is your favorite Disney movie or child movie that you like the most, and give us a reason why?
Funny you mentioned this, because this morning I was scrolling through different apps than this one, and came across somebody watching Flight of the Navigator. That is my all-time favorite movie. When I was a kid, it was my all-time favorite Disney movie when I was a kid, just because of all the different things that they have to see, the time travel, the way that the kid was like an outsider. He was kind of like what I was. I got and the spaceship or wherever his name was able to show him that he's not just a little boy that surrounds
Yeah,
family.
fair enough. Definitely. What's it called again? I don't think I've ever seen it before.
Flight of the Navigator.
Yeah,
Came out
never
in
watched it
85.
before. But sounds like a little bit of like a movie that I can appreciate, which is Treasure Planet or Page Master, two classics of mine. We'll talk about that off of the stream. Favorite Disney movies of all time. All right, Techie, I got a question for you, and I'm gonna leave it up to Techie on the next round to ask the final question for you, gentlemen. All right, Techie, my question for you would be, what is, like, as far as your life right now, what is the most important thing in it right now? What are some values that you like that are going on in your life other than fatherhood? We get that that's something that's important to both of you gentlemen.
Is that directed at me, the question?
No, that's a question for contestant number 2.
Ah.
We got Maverick.
Oh, what was it? I'm sorry. I thought you were asking Techie a question.
Same.
No, the question is for you. What is something that is the most important in your life right now, other than fatherhood?
Next important thing would probably be family. I'd have to say. Like, recently my grandmother had cancer. So instead of her living by herself, she actually lives with me now. Because I have like a 6-bedroom house here that I stay in alone. So, yeah. But family's always been a major thing for me. But yeah, I mean, if I can't save my children, I definitely have to go with family.
Yeah, not too far from the genetics.
Mhm.
But that was awesome. I'm sorry about your grandmother's recent symptoms, but we all give our shout outs to Grandma Mav for sure. All right, back
She's
over to you,
recovering.
Techie, for the. Oh, well, good. Congratulations. Sounds like things are moving in a good way. Thanks be to God. All right, Techie, got one more question for the guys, and I'm leaving it up to you. So, what is going to be the last question for contestant number 1?
So I have one more question for both of you. It's the same question for both of you. And that question is, why should I pick you as the final contestant? Why should I pick you? Why should I pick you?
Fix it up. Starting with you, what differentiates you from our other contestant? Why should she pick you?
I'm Karen. I'm actually leaving my life in Buffalo, New York, to move south to stay with my grandma to help take care of her house, help take care of her lawn. She's 84 right now and going senile. So I'm gonna go down there, help her with everything because I'm the only man left in the family that's able to do that type of stuff. Another reason to pick me would be because of the I'm funny.
Yeah.
I've been sitting here trying not to make jokes the whole show, so I'm trying to be serious this time.
All right, my thing for you is if you are picked, you have to make Techie laugh with the joke before you go. That's gonna be my bet for you. What about you, Mav? How would you answer that question?
If I were to go with anything, you'll definitely feel safe and secure around me. I guarantee that. I don't believe it, but people tend to say I'm an enjoyment to be around. So I tend to make people smile, and I'm definitely a good listener. I don't tend to talk too much, so I'm always listening. But yeah, I'm not someone that'll just listen to your problems and push it out. I'll actually attentively listen to you and yeah, get to know about that shit.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, giving off some police officer energy at the final question. But congratulations. That ends the second round of questions. You guys did a great job. Definitely give it up for our lovely contestants. They did a great job. Definitely progressed as the show moved on. Techie, you did an awesome job too. Okay, so unfortunately, I know these are tough decisions. I think this might be the toughest decision. You know the empathy that goes on with your decision making, Techie, is well appreciated. I think you're really thinking about these things. You do not like telling people no, or yeah. So unfortunately, you can't have them both.
I'm not ready for this.
If
I just
somebody,
think that we should make an exception to the rule on this one occasion. No, I'm joking.
yeah,
All right.
we have a season for polyamory or whatever the kids call it. All right, so who is going to be today's winner? You got Fix It Up. He told us he's a father. He definitely becoming a father without him saying made a lot of shifts in his life. He told us what he liked in relationships. He told us what he didn't like in relationships. And at the end, he kind of tied it all together with his sense of humor. He said he's going to give us a laugh before he goes. And just kind of told us also about the start of him streaming. And that seems to be also a focus in his life right now that's making a difference. So a lot of things that he's kind of like climbing the hill upwards, which I think anybody's moving towards. And then you got Maverick. Maverick is also a father. Outdoors mean a lot to him. Being able to trust his partner. He showed us also his likes and dislikes in the relationship. And family is also an important thing in his book. All right, so with that being said, I can only ask you one question. Chat, who do you think she should pick? Contestant number 1, contestant number 2, we got Maverick, we got Mr. Fix-It.
I also add that I'm going to change the light bulbs too.
Throwing in that last sprinkle. We got Maverick, we got contestant number 1, we got contestant number 2. All right, Techie, who is going to be today's winner? Drum roll, please. I see you, Deadshot.
Today's winner is going to be contestant number 1.
Contestant number 1, congratulations. Fix It Up. You are today's winner. Thank you so much, Maverick, and appreciate your transparency on today's episode. We would love to have you back.
Of course.
Did you have a good time?
Yeah, it was good. Especially
Well,
for not knowing what to expect. Yeah, it was a good show.
Well, I appreciate that so much, man. Like I said, my team will be reaching out to you. Maybe we could have you back on the show and have you as a bachelor. And congratulations over to today's winner. He goes by the name Mr. Fix It Up. Don't be afraid to favorite our contestants and our bachelorette on today's episode. And I always forget, please favor me, because for every episode I get like 20 favorites, and it should be doubled. All right, so what I want you guys to do is you guys are going to get to know each other off of the app. I think both of y'all have Instagram, so I'm going to make a group chat for all 3 of us, and then I'm going to skedaddle and let y'all do the rest of the work. All that I ask is y'all get to know each other, no expectations, whether it's better off as a friendship or maybe something more. Just tune back in next Friday closer to 12 p.m. and give us an update. Is that a deal?
Yeah, that works great.
Yeah, shaking on it.
Okay, starting off with a Fix It Up. It was awesome having you on the show today. Is there anything you want to plug before you leave?
Just my feature show every Friday at 5 p.m. I have a show called Fix It's Corner. We talk about projects that we're proud of, projects that went terribly wrong, or if you have that do-it-yourself project that you need help with, you ask me or my guest, and we can give you pointers. I also am hosting an auction on November 2nd for my birthday Halloween auction. I have plenty of spaces open, so.
Let's go.
awesome. So make sure you get in tune with him. Well, thank you so much. What about you, Techie? It was awesome having you on the show. I think you said you might even do a couple more. Did you have fun today? And anything you want to plug before you go?
I had a really good time. Thank you for having me. Thank you for all the contestants and all the coordinators. I feel like I'm on an award show. And it was just really fun, Dorian. Thank you for having me. Fave me. I'm not in any auctions. I don't have anything lit coming up. I stream sporadically. Catch me if you can.
Well, fair enough. Not probably the best way to end the show, definitely. But you guys get to know each other. Get out of here. All right, before we go, we had our bachelor on our last episode. He chose our bachelorette on our last episode. She chose Ghosty. And so, unfortunately, they didn't even really get to know each other. They didn't reach out to each other. Maybe, you know, sometimes people jump on the show and they just kind of want to show face. If I think that's what the kids call it or whatever. So, you know, but the search continues. Maybe we'll have them back.Maybe we won't. But I have some cool things for you. But big shout out to our last top gifters from our last episode. We had at the #1 spot Lolita. She was featured on today's episode. And thank you for the gifts, by the way. It's hard operating the #1 show and also. What is that noise? It's hard operating the #1 episode and also giving you and answering all of your questions and saying thank you for the gift. So I appreciate it. But the #1 gifter from this episode is going to be featured on the next episode. #1 from our last one was Lolita. Baby Cakes, I think she was in here. That she was at the #2 spot. Beauty was at the #3 spot. Jeremy was at the #4 spot. And we had Lady G at the #5 spot. So definitely don't forget to tune into the last episode because I'm going to be giving you a complete rundown after the show. We're going to stay the 15 minutes extra and just break down how my episode is going to go. For y'all that don't know, I'm going to be the bachelor. I guess I'm the most requested. I say that humbly because I'm actually looking for love. I'm not playing around, so to speak. So the winner from my episode 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20 are my episodes. So if you want to be featured on one of those episodes, you like what you see from knowing me. I think I know everybody at least a couple of times on the app. Just hit up one of my lovely admins. Anybody in Red, just shoot them a message and they'll get you on these featured shows. They're almost all booked, but we have a couple of episodes still that we need to book. All right, so, you know, I'm looking for love. Episode 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. We got one more episode left. The person that wins, that I pick, I'm getting to know everybody after each episode, by the way. So it's like Bachelor style. We got 3 on one episode, 3 on another episode, 3 on another episode, 3 on another episode, and the winners of those go into a final episode. So me and the person that I pick, we're going on a date. Even if the person that I pick on one of the episodes lives close to me, even if it's Las Vegas, I might drive out and see that person. There's no holds bars. So definitely, if you want to be featured on that episode, but even if you don't want to be featured and you just like what you hear, I got big hopes for this one. I think it's going to be the biggest thing on the app as far as like episodes and a show. I'm putting a lot of time, putting a lot of money, and I'm going to be talking about that off of the stream. But thank you so much, guys. I appreciate y'all for all the support and all the love for Rate the Date. Thank you so much. Until next time.